For most football teams, a 7-2-1 record would signify a successful season, but not for IUP, its team, coaches, and fans. And so 1992 was a stepping stone for 1993, especially for 15 seniors. They remember how 92 went sour after a 7-0 start. They were more determined that 1993 would find the IUP football team where it belonged, in the NCAA playoffs, and a return to prominence. Tailback Michael Mann played less than half in the opening win over Kutztown in carrying the ball 18 times for 121 yards and a touchdown in a 54-9 romp. Quarterback Scott Woods and backup Steve Russell each passed for 2 scores with 4 different receivers on the other end. Newcomer Mike Callahan was the defensive player of the game in his very first IUP game. Mike had 8 tackles and 2 sacks, and IUP was on its way with the opening victory over Kutztown. It was another Michael Mann O'Day game, 29 carries for 154 yards, surpassing the 3,000-yard mark for career rushing. Defensively, Mike Callahan again stood out in the Grand Valley game, 13 tackles. Freshman Mike Marshall had 9 unassisted stops. Reuben Monroe had 2 interceptions, and the final count, IUP over nationally ranked Grand Valley, 34-3. This is probably the game where IUP grew up, with Michael Mann again running wild, 32 times, 190 yards. You might have figured this was going to be a one-sided game. Well, it was for one half. IUP built up a 30-0 lead, only to see the Rams threaten to take the lead at the IUP 2-yard line. But
Donald back to throw. He lost the ball. He dropped it. They dive for it. It's loose. IUP recovers. IUP recovers. Ike Fields has it. Wow.
IUP then needed Mann to solidify a win, and with 1:10 remaining in the game, Mann pulled off a 71-yard run.
Here we go. IUP with the football, 2nd and 10 at their own 29-yard line. The pitch goes to Michael Mann, trying to sweep the left. Has running room. He goes to the outside at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. He's in the clear. 35, 30, 25, 20. They're chasing him. They'll not get him. He's at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Michael Mann. He goes 71 yards with 1:10 to go. And IUP has put it away, leading 36-26 over Westchester.
This was a game we would look back on at the end of the year as probably the turning point of the season. In game number 4, IUP came from behind to defeat Division I AA opponent Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia on September 25th. The final score was 23-7. Mike Geary's field goals, 2 short Mike Campolo touchdowns, and the defense. Yes, the defense stopped Liberty at the 9-yard line. In fact, they held Liberty to crossing midfield only twice in the second half. The defense was loaded with stars. Lewis Choice had an interception and rolled 66 yards late in the game. Tony Falls had 3 sacks of the team's 6 sacks. Harold Brister had 7 solo tackles, and John Stewart was named Defensive Player of the game. A solid performance and a victory over a Division I AA opponent on the road. At Lock Haven, IUP relied on Michael Mann's running, the passing of Scott Woods and Steve Russell, and the kicking of Mike Geary. Mann carried 17 times for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half, and set the career rushing touchdown record with 34. Tight end Scott McClellan had 2 touchdown receptions. Theo Turner, the other tight end, 4 receptions, 106 yards. The final score, IUP 52 and Lock Haven 14. In Game 6, IUP returned home. It was homecoming against Shippensburg. Michael Mann had another big day. 24 carries for 111 yards, 5 pass receptions. Scott Woods threw 2 touchdowns to Derek Smith. One was a 69-yarder on the first offensive play of the game. I formation, 31-yard line, IUP. Scott Woods gets a chance at offense, and he fakes to the tailback Dotson. He goes long for Derek Smith. Smith going under, he catches the ball to 28, to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5. Derek Smith, they go for the bomb. That's exactly what Coach Signetti said they would do. Doug Steve predicted a while ago. Touchdown, Scott Woods to Derek Smith. It's 13-0 over Shippensburg. Defensively, Harold Brister had 2 interceptions. One was for 54 yards. And Brister was named the ECAC Division II Player of the Week. And IUP wrecked the ship 45-10 before 9,700 fans on homecoming. IUP welcomed California's new coach to the PSAC, scoring 21 first-quarter points and 7 of the first 8 possessions. 421 net rushing yards for IUP, and that was a new team record. The offensive line allowed no sacks, and they were named the players of the game. Geary kicked his 10th field goal of the year, a new IUP record. And Mann became the first PSAC back to go over 1,000 yards in this season. But backup tailback, freshman Willie Dotson had a day. He was the leading rusher with 26 carries, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The final score was IUP 52 and California 13. October 23rd and family weekend at IUP, and Slippery Rock gave IUP its toughest test to date. Although IUP took a 24-14 lead at the half, the Rock came back to tie the game at 24 and were still within a touchdown in the 4th period. 3 consecutive Michael Mann touchdowns sealed the Rock's fate. An I formation, Glass the fullback. Back to pass, little swing pass goes to Michael. Michael is on his feet at the 45, the 50. He cuts back at the 45, 40. He's at the 35, 30, the 25, 20. There goes Michael Mann. They will not catch him. He's got a touchdown. He ties Jai Hill's record, 41 all time, and it's now IUP in the lead over Slippery Rock. Michael Mann from Scott Woods on the swing pass. Woods was 19 for 30, 246 yards, featuring 7 different receivers. Derek Smith had 6 receptions, 100 yards. The defense was led by Omar Stewart. He was named the ECAC Defensive Player of the Week. Poliak fakes to Coleman, drops back. He got pressure, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Omar Stewart, and there he goes. 40, 30. He's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Omar Stewart for the touchdown for IUP. The pressure by Mike Callahan, and IUP takes a 16-7 lead. The final score was IUP 45, Slippery Rock 24. A matchup of Division II powers on a typical Edinburgh day, November 6th. Windy, cold, snowy. IUP led 13-7 at the half, but the Borough quarterback, Jody Dickerson, led the Borough to a 14-13 lead. IUP battled back and regained the lead at 23-14. Edinburgh scored twice, and they led 24-23, and we were experiencing another IUP Edinburgh Classic in a game that saw the lead change hands 5 times. IUP started its winning drive with 7 minutes remaining. Despite a horrible passing day, the winning touchdown was, you guessed it, on a pass from Scott Woods to Theo Turner.
From the 10-yard line. Fake. Woods looking for Jamone Smith in the end zone. Instead, it is Turner for the touchdown with 2:58 to go. Theo Turner takes the 10-yard pass from Scott Woods, and IUP leads it by 29-24.
Mann carried 44 times for 219 yards, breaking the all-time PSAC rushing record. The final score was IUP 31 and Edinburgh 24. IUP completed its second undefeated season in 3 years, crushing Clarion 44-7 on a mud-clogged field November 13th. Michael Mann was held under 100 yards in a game for the first time in '93, but managed 2 rushing touchdowns, setting 3 more PSAC records. Scott Woods had a fantastic day, 17 for 19. That was a record setter, 353 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and he ran 6 yards for a 3rd touchdown. IUP more than made up for its devastating 1992 loss to Clarion, and this time came out on top 44-7. The second season, the NCAA playoff season, began November 20th, hosting the Ferris State, Michigan Bulldogs at Miller Stadium. The Bulldogs were also undefeated, but tied twice. IUP quickly muzzled the Dogs. The offensive line was named the Offensive Players of the Game for the second time this year, protecting quarterback Scott Woods, allowing the senior signal caller to hit tight ends Scott McClellan and Theo Turner of 3 and 5 yards. Woods was 16 for 27, 200 yards, no sacks. Derek Smith, 5 receptions for 91 yards. IUP trailed 7-0, but then scored 28 unanswered points before being challenged. Chris Valario's timely fumble recovery on Michael Mann's apparent touchdown was a very big play.
McClellan, the tight end on the left side. It is the tailback. Michael Mann, and the ball pops in the air, and it's intercepted, I believe, at the 1-yard line by Ferris State. Or no, did IUP get it back? It was like a volleyball. It's IUP ball.
Wow.
At the 2, I think.
I think Valario got it. Let's see.
It is Valario.
Defensively, 6 sacks. Callahan had 3 of them. Omar Stewart had 10 tackles, 8 solo. 28-21, IUP defeated Ferris State, and we went to round 2 of the NCAA playoffs. November 27th at Southern Connecticut University, second round of the NCAA playoffs. The Beasts of the East, a dream matchup. Number 2 New Haven, number 4 IUP. At stake, ECAC and Lambert Meadowland trophies. After leading 7-0, IUP fell behind 21-7, 28-14. Trailing 28-21, Jamone Smith caught an alley-oop for a touchdown to tie the game at 28. Woods then hit the big one. Play fake to Mann. Woods is back. He's throwing long for Derek Smith, and he's got it at the 30, and Derek's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Well, they did it. They went for the bomb, and within 11 seconds here, they take the lead, IUP does, 34-28 on the bomb from Woods to Derek Smith. Derek Smith had 8 receptions for 80 yards. Woods was 21 of 35 for 266 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamone Smith was named Offensive Player of the Game. Big day for Moan with 10 catches, 122 yards. 38-35, IUP over New Haven, and the semifinal game was coming to Miller Stadium. The national semifinal, December 4th, the biggest game ever played at Miller Stadium. All week officials tried to get the Miller Stadium turf in order for the North Dakota game, diligently working on the field, bringing in a helicopter to dry out the field, using a tarp to cover the field. But the weatherman did not cooperate. It rained all day Saturday. The key to this game was to score early as field conditions worsened throughout the day. Mann's 20th touchdown tied Jai Hill's record as IUP took the lead. Jack Creech's fumble recovery on a North Dakota punt was a big play. The second touchdown was a Scott Woods to Derek Smith pass, while Woods combined with Scott McClellan, who made a circus catch for touchdown number 3. From the 8. Fake to Mann, Woods looking, throws end zone, Hilda, touchdown, and Scott McClellan. Great catch by Scott McClellan. IUP scores with 54 seconds to go in the half, and it's a 20-0 game over the University of North Dakota. This IUP team thus became the first IUP team to register 13 wins. After this 21-6 victory, it was on to the national championship. The national championship game is truly more than a game. It's a spectacle, a happening. Upon arriving in Florence, Alabama, the team was met at the airport by dignitaries from the entire Florence community, making every one of them feel like a celebrity. In the next few days, the coaches and players were treated royally. The IUP faithful, alumni, parents, friends, and fans had a glorious time at the Friday night party at the Holiday Inn. And at the stadium on game day, tailgating was also outstanding. The IUP band provided a hometown touch with its, as always, excellent performance. Everything was just great, and what we didn't know was that the game would be even greater. For the second time in 3 years, IUP would be participating in the NCAA National Championship game at Florence, Alabama. Both teams were 13-0, but this time IUP was playing on the home turf of the opposition, the North Alabama Lions, the #1 team in the country. It was a classic game that many longtime IUP fans reminded them of the 1968 Boardwalk Bowl. The Lions scored first on a botched field goal try. Mike Geary gave IUP its first points on a 22-yard field goal. North Alabama made it 14-3. IUP drove 71 yards with Woods hitting McClellan for a score. It was 14-10 at the half.
Dotson the only setback, but let's see if they run the ball at the 9-yard line. Woods back to throw. In the middle, complete for the touchdown to Scott McClellan. It was easy.
The Indians then went ahead 17-14 after an 84-yard drive and a touchdown from Woods to Dan Glass. IUP increased its lead to 24-14 with 42 seconds left in the third quarter when Woods hit Turner from 24 yards out.
Down at the 24, needing 5 for the first down.
Derek Smith, the possibility.
Play fake, back, it goes to Theo Turner to 15, to 10, to 5. He's got a touchdown right over the middle to the tight end. They took it to the house for the touchdown. Theo Turner, the tight end.
But a blocked punt early in the fourth quarter changed the momentum of the game. The Lions put together back-to-back drives to take the lead 27-24. The Lions then drove 78 yards to go up by 10, 34-24 with 3:17 left. IUP dug deep, driving 70 yards with man scoring from 1 yard out to cut it to 34-31 with 1:54 to go. Jack Creech then recovered an onside kick at the North Alabama 49.
There's the onside kick. It's bouncing, and IUP, do they have it?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Perfect onside kick by IUP.
Eventually resulting in a Michael Geary 34-yard game-tying field goal with 45 seconds left.
Ling to snap it, McGee to hold it, to tie it and send it into overtime. Ball is down. The kick is on the way. The kick hits that wind, but it's right up there, and it is good! Geary has kicked a 35-yard field goal with 45 seconds to go, and we're tied at 34 here for the national championship. It looks like overtime.
But the Lions scored 6 plays later with just 10 seconds left to win the national title 41-34. The season ended with this heartbreaking loss. It was a memorable game and a memorable season. 13 wins and 1 loss. The IUP football program is one of success, tradition, hard work, and class. 1993 indeed has seen a return to prominence for the IUP football team.